When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus to bring about his death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. Now when Judas, his betrayer, saw that Jesus had been condemned, he repented. And he took back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders, saying, "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." But they said to him, "What is that to us? See to it yourself." And throwing down the money in the temple, he departed. And he went and hanged himself. Now the chief priests, gathering together the silver coins, said, "It is not lawful for us to put them in the treasury because this is blood money." And after conferring together, they used it to buy the potter's field as a place to bury foreigners. For this reason, that field is called the Field of Blood, even to this day. Then was fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet Jeremiah. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of one on whom a price had been set, on whom some of Israel had set a price, and they gave them to buy the potter's field, as the Lord had commanded.
Now Jesus was standing before Pilate, and the governor asked him, "You're the king of the Jews?" And Jesus said, "You say so." Now the chief priests and the elders came and made all sorts of accusations against him, but Jesus remained silent. The governor said to him, "Don't you hear all the accusations they're making against you?" But he said nothing, didn't respond to a single charge, so that Pilate was astonished. Now at the festival, it was Pilate's custom to release for them one prisoner, whomever they wanted. They had the notorious criminal, Jesus Barabbas. And so Pilate asked them, "Do you want me to release for you Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus who is called the Messiah?" Because he knew that out of envy they had handed him over. Now, while he was sitting on the judgment seat, Pilate's wife sent word to him saying, "Have nothing to do with this innocent man, because I have suffered all day on account of a dream about him." Now, the elders and the chief priests were stirring up the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to ask to have Jesus put to death. Pilate came before them and again said, "Whom do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said, "Well, then what do you want me to do with Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" And they all said, "Let him be crucified." Pilate said, "Why? What evil has he done?" And they all insisted, "Let him be crucified." Pilate, seeing that there was nothing he could do, and that a riot was about to break out, got a basin of water and washed his hands before the crowd and said, "I am innocent of this man's blood. Do with him as you see fit." And they said, let his blood be on us and on our children. Then Pilate released Barabbas to them. And after having Jesus whipped, he handed him over to be crucified. And the soldiers of the governor brought him into the governor's headquarters. And they called together the entire cohort. And they stripped Jesus of his clothes. And they placed a scarlet robe on him. And twisting thorn branches into a crown, they stuck it on his head. And they were bowing down and saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." And they were putting a reed staff in his hand and then taking it, and they would spit on him and beat him over the head with the reed staff. When they had finished mocking him, they stripped him of the scarlet robe. They put his own clothes back on him and let him out to be crucified.